I just came back from my work travel, and it was just amazing. But after all, this is a picture that got stuck on my mind. Did you know that 40% of food is wasted in India? And I don't understand why. Now imagine whole population of Europe. Same number of people working as farmers in India. 700 million. They are working hard every day to feed us. And we cannot afford to lose these 40% of food produced by them. There are so many people on our planet suffering from hunger and poverty. So I really think that now is time to change it. So what can we do?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have asked ourselves the same question as this backpacker. And in order to understand the problem, it is useful to have a look at the current situation. Currently, the farmers in India, they sell their crops to the middlemen. And these middlemen in turn sell the crops to the retailers. However, within this process, there is a lack of information. For example, the farmers don't know the demand from the retailers and at which price they can sell their crops. In turn, the retailers, they don't know all the food that the farmers supply. And due to this lack of information, it takes a lot of time before the food gets from the farmer to the final consumer. And a lot of food goes to waste. But we need this food. This picture shows us that the growth in the demand of food is much larger than the growth in the supply of food. So this is a really important issue. And therefore it's important to find a solution. And we have come up with an innovative solution to solve this problem. And Hanu will now explain to you our solution.
So, if you basically look at the problem is all about information asymmetry. None of these players, the farmers, the middlemen, and the retailers have the right amount of information or real-time access to the information to actually be able to reduce the food wastage. We spoke to a lot of these smaller market players, which basically is the middlemen, and the primary reason for a lot of these wastage is because there are more than 1,000 retailers in the Indian market because there are no big players, and they actually don't know what's the demand, and due to a lot of problems where they have to source from multiple fragmented smaller farmers, they are not even sure about the supply. So what we bring to you is farm.net. Farm.net is our solution to one of these major problems of lack of information for all the players within the supply chain. So basically what we're trying to do is provide information to the farmers, and it's actually the best time to bring out the solution. Because for like the mobile penetration in India is probably one of the best. Though there's a lot of poverty, there's close to 80% of mobile penetration in the country. And the recent government statistics have shown that if the farmers were empowered, like 7 million farmers could produce about 10 billion worth of produce if they had access to information like basic market data and weather reports. Weather reports because they actually don't know when to produce and how to produce and what to produce. So simple knowledge like weather and market data and the prices of the futures provide farmers with a lot more way to produce lesser wastage and sell better. Again, farm.net will also provide a platform for the other two players, the retailers and the middlemen, who basically do most of the transaction, and to be able to better connect with the farmers and also be able to better connect among each other so that the time between the transactions is reduced, which again means in lesser wastage. So this is the solution we follow. We provide basic information to the farmers through the mobile technology, and then we provide an information platform for the retailers and the middlemen to be able to have the transactions in a more clear, faster and efficient way, reducing the wastage, getting higher profits because they sell more and are able to manage the same system but in a more efficient way. So this is one of our prototypes where we have something similar to a marketplace, but being empowered through the online e-commerce and internet facilities where the middlemen and the final retailers know what's available, what needs to be produced, the demand and the supply, and other sorts of information.
So, every year, 35.6 million metric tons of food is being wasted in India. Even if we save 2% of this food, that is 1.8 million metric tons of food, we save 1.2 billion USD. So what if we save $1 billion USD? We can feed 14 million people per year with this amount.
Of course, to create such a big impact, we need your money. We need investments to make this happen. We wrote down the most important costs is installing the IT hubs, because the middlemen often are not connected to the internet. There are companies doing that already. We estimated the cost of 3,000 euros per IT hub. We have to program the IT system. The mobile penetration is already high, so we still need to provide some mobile phones. We have the variable costs, so the investment we would need from you is a three-stage investment of approximately 5 million in the first 3 years. And we are happy to tell you that it's going to be profitable. We reach a market of 20% by year 5. We get profitable by the year 4. Based on a commission-based model, the middlemen pay us 0.2% of the transactions value, which will actually turn into a profit for us by year 4. And I mean, you would ask, why should these players do it? Because all of them are benefit. Farm.net established market data for the farmers, faster demand and supply information for the middlemen, and the retailers get more supply, can sell it to their corporate social responsibility and get higher quality. So imagine applying this solution to other countries as well. Farm.net, away with waste.
I start again with a technical question. So why do you need these IT hubs? What are these IT hubs?
Basically, right now in the traditional system, access to the internet is not common within the marketplace. So what we plan to do is set up IT infrastructure like a simple computer. If you don't have access to internet, have a VSAT satellite connection so that they get real-time data on the market demand and supply, and you just need basic training if it's in local language as to data, weather reports and supply demand information, so it can be communicated within the market or within a group of villages for farmers if required. It's just an enabler for us to get the entire system into the internet age.
So perhaps I didn't get the link, but so you say, for example, when they know the weather, they can produce more, but till now they produce already such a lot of things that they wasted. The question is it enough to provide information, or do they need also education that they know how to use this information to really get more productive and to sell it in the right way?
The problem with farmers in India is weather is a major determinant for what they grow and what they don't grow, because unlike developed countries, the irrigation system is mostly dependent on the monsoons and the rains. So if they actually know, if they grow a crop today and it rains a lot over the next week, they lose the entire produce. So it's the entire of their investment is wasted. This is because, again, lack of information, lack of education. So weather reports actually are a critical reason. One of the studies we did, the Indian government is investing into trying to inform farmers about weather in whatever way possible. Through mobile phones is what they are doing, and the estimate is from 3 million farmers to 10 million by the end of this year. They estimate that there will be a savings of 10 billion just by informing them about the weather, nothing else. So that is one of our critical components in our business model. And secondly, that is one of the primary reasons for wastage, because they grow something which is not productive or financially viable for them over the year.
So you told us that you have a transaction fee of 0.2%. So how does the payment system work? So there are these hundreds of thousands and millions of farmers, and they do their deals, but actually how do you get the money?
Actually, the farmers are, as you can see here, the farmers, like the middlemen connect the farmers. So actually the middlemen are the speakers of the farming community, which means we're giving them access to the internet, which is not often the case right now. They pool, we expect that they pool around 300 to 400 farmers. So these middlemen are going to do the transactions, what they already do right now. So these are sales guys, and we're going to collect the money via our platform, because they have access to it. So the payment flow should be doable.
To me, this looks like a supply chain platform that we use in the West as well. You have a supplier and a customer and middleman, and you bring that all on to the internet. I've seen your investment figures, and I would like to know how much of that you would spend on IT and how much on organizational issues, because one of the learnings that we had in the West is that changing this kind of supply chain systems is a lot of organizational costs.
Is there a pointer? Okay, so here we have the costs. We're actually taking advantage of the low labor forces and low labor force costs in India, but also of the high education of the programming. So we have the programming for the IT system would be 1.5 million, and we set training, which is increasing. We have support and project management, which is increasing, and we're doing a bottom-up approach, which means we're only addressing 0.5% of the market in the beginning, which are around 800,000 farmers. If you imagine being 500 farmers being pulled by one middleman, it's not that much, so it's very feasible at the beginning. We put some conservative growth forecasts, so second year 2%, 3.5, 6, 8% increase, which is computed market share of 20% in the end. So I agree, it's going to cost a lot of money to implement all that, but we backed that up with some research on it, and we came up with these numbers, and we think it's feasible.